Chosen one, you didn't stumble across this video by accident. You were led here for a reason. God is calling you into a new season, a season where struggle ends and abundance begins. From this moment forward, it is no longer your burden to carry the weight of financial worry. It is now God's responsibility to provide for you the abundance you've prayed for, the breakthrough you've waited for. It is already moving toward you. Those who doubted you, those who mocked you during your hardships, they are about to witness God's glory in your life. This is your time. This is your divine season. But before we dive deeper into this powerful revelation, I invite you to do 3 simple things. Hit that like button to spread this message to others. Subscribe and join a community of faith moving toward abundance. And comment the number 99 below, a number that symbolizes completion and new beginnings. Activate this blessing by claiming it in your spirit. If you're truly a chosen one, your heart already knows that what you're hearing is truth. Stay with me until the end, because your life is about to change in ways you can't even imagine. There comes a point in every journey where the struggle ends and the blessings begin. For those chosen by God, wealth is no longer earned by human effort alone. It becomes a divine inheritance. The Creator of the universe, the one who orchestrated every moment of your life, has declared an everlasting flow of abundance over you. This is not a mere hope. It's not a desperate wish. It is a divine guarantee. Your prosperity is not based on hustle, sweat, or endless striving. It is rooted in the unshakable foundation of God's faithfulness. Imagine a river that never runs dry, no matter how much you draw from it. That is the nature of God's provision for His chosen ones. You are destined to live in abundance, not because you worked harder than others, but because God has vowed to provide for you endlessly and faithfully. From this day forward, it's time to release the burden of struggling. It's time to trust fully in God's unbreakable covenant with you. With God's responsibility to provide, you can rest easy. Your needs are already met. You no longer have to fear the uncertainties of life. You are walking in the certainty of divine provision. Your wealth, your success, your flourishing, these are reflections of God's boundless love for you. As you embrace this truth, you will experience a peace that surpasses all understanding. A peace not just in the abundance you will receive, but in the security of knowing your future is held in His perfect hands. The very moment you accepted your divine calling, a shift occurred. You moved from a life of struggle to a life of supernatural provision. The days of exhausting yourself, worrying about the future, and fearing lack, they are over. From now on, you are living in the abundance of God's promises. What once felt like an uphill battle is now a downhill journey, carried effortlessly by His grace and His favor. Stepping into divine abundance isn't just about financial prosperity. It's about an overflow that touches every area of your life: your relationships, your health, your purpose, your joy. Wealth is not simply having money. It's living in the fullness of life that God desires for you. As you walk in this truth, you will notice how peace and joy naturally fill your life. A total transformation of your mindset, a complete renewal of your experiences. You were chosen for greatness, not because of your talent or your strength, but because of God's perfect will. The struggle is no longer your portion. Divine abundance, unimaginable abundance, is now your inheritance. Trust this new reality. Release the weight of the past. Walk boldly into the future God has prepared for you. Confidence is not born from self-reliance. True confidence comes from knowing you are supported by a power greater than yourself. When you embrace divine confidence, you move through life differently. You stop wondering where your next breakthrough will come from. You already know God will provide. Think about the confidence of a child who knows without a doubt that their parent will provide for them. They don't worry about food, shelter, or love. They simply trust. And this, beloved chosen one, is the confidence God invites you to have. You are cared for. You are seen. You are deeply loved. You can live free from anxiety and doubt. You can trust God's timing even when the path ahead seems unclear. You don't have to control every outcome. You can rest in the knowledge that God's plan is perfect and it is unfolding for your good. No longer will you toil endlessly to survive. From this point on, wealth is God's responsibility. Your only task is to stay aligned with His will and trust in His divine timing. The more you release the burden of trying to force your financial future, the more space you create for God's miracles to work. This isn't passive waiting. This is active faith, believing that as you walk forward in obedience, God will open doors you could never have imagined. The same God who created galaxies and oceans, the God who breathed life into dust, is the God who will provide for you. Nothing is too difficult for Him. Understanding that wealth is God's responsibility frees you from fear. You no longer have to wonder how you'll make it happen. You can simply walk forward, trusting that provision will meet you at every step. When God takes on your prosperity as His own mission, you won't just have enough. You will have more than enough. Enough to live well, enough to give generously, enough to change lives. It's time to erase doubt from your heart. Beloved, the truth is that when you trust God with your wealth, you open the doors to a life that you could never have planned for yourself. You are not bound by the limits of your natural understanding. In fact, you're not even living according to the world's standards of success. You are living according to a higher law, the law of divine provision, a law that supersedes every natural obstacle. This law guarantees that no matter what, you will always be provided for. When you embrace this truth, you realize that it's not your effort alone that brings success, but God's supernatural intervention. This is where the true power of divine wealth comes from. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how much you trust in God's provision. When you release the grip you have on your circumstances and surrender fully to His divine plan, that's when things begin to change. You will notice that opportunities will begin to appear out of nowhere. Unseen doors will open, leading you down a path of unimaginable wealth and success. The life you've been waiting for, the one that seemed just out of reach, is already waiting for you right now. You are walking into it with each step you take in faith. You may be asking, but how can I be sure? And the answer is simple. You know that God is faithful to His word. His promises never fail. He doesn't say something and then change His mind. If He has declared abundance over your life, it will come to pass. It might not happen on your timeline, but rest assured that it will happen exactly when you need it, in the perfect timing that only God can arrange. Your part is to stay in alignment with His will, trusting that His plan for you is better than anything you could have ever imagined. This isn't just about material wealth. Divine wealth is about living in a place of complete peace and security. It's about having the confidence to move forward, knowing that God will provide for every need. It's about living with the knowledge that no matter what the world says, you are a child of the Most High, and He will always take care of you. As you begin to walk in this truth, you'll notice a shift in your perspective. What once seemed impossible now seems achievable. What once felt out of reach now feels attainable, because you are no longer relying on your own strength. You are relying on the one who created everything. Beloved, the truth is that when you trust God with your wealth, you open the doors to a life that you could never have planned for yourself. You are not bound by the limits of your natural understanding. In fact, you're not even living according to the world's standards of success. You are living according to a higher law, the law of divine provision, a law that supersedes every natural obstacle. This law guarantees that no matter what, you will always be provided for. When you embrace this truth, you realize that it's not your effort alone that brings success, but God's supernatural intervention. This is where the true power of divine wealth comes from. It's not about how hard you work. It's about how much you trust in God's provision. When you release the grip you have on your circumstances and surrender fully to His divine plan, that's when things begin to change. You will notice that opportunities will begin to appear out of nowhere. Unseen doors will open, leading you down a path of unimaginable wealth and success. The life you've been waiting for, the one that seemed just out of reach, is already waiting for you right now. You are walking into it with each step you take in faith. You may be asking, but how can I be sure? And the answer is simple. You know that God is faithful to His word. His promises never fail. He doesn't say something and then change His mind. If He has declared abundance over your life, it will come to pass. It might not happen on your timeline, but rest assured that it will happen exactly when you need it, in the perfect timing that only God can arrange. Your part is to stay in alignment with His will, trusting that His plan for you is better than anything you could have ever imagined. This isn't just about material wealth. Divine wealth is about living in a place of complete peace and security. It's about having the confidence to move forward, knowing that God will provide for every need. It's about living with the knowledge that no matter what the world says, you are a child of the Most High, and He will always take care of you. As you begin to walk in this truth, you'll notice a shift in your perspective. What once seemed impossible now seems achievable. What once felt out of reach now feels attainable, because you are no longer relying on your own strength. You are relying on the one who created everything. You see, God doesn't just provide for you to meet your needs. He provides for you abundantly so that you can be a blessing to others. Wealth is not just for your own comfort. It's a tool to do God's work on earth. Every blessing you receive is a responsibility to help those in need, to support ministries, and to bless others in the way that God has blessed you. The wealth you're about to experience will give you the opportunity to give in ways that will change lives. You will have the ability to support those who are struggling, to create opportunities for others to flourish, and to make a tangible impact on the world around you. God's wealth is not meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be distributed freely, shared with love, and used for His glory. When you understand this, you begin to see your wealth as a resource for His kingdom, not just something for your personal gain. This is the kind of divine abundance that God desires for His people, an abundance that flows outwards, blessing everyone it touches. But here's the secret. The more you give, the more you will receive. This is a spiritual law that cannot be broken. When you give generously, whether in your time, your resources, or your heart, God promises to bless you even more. The more you bless others, the more God blesses you. This is not just a principle for financial wealth. It applies to every area of your life. When you give your love, your compassion, your time, and your energy, you will receive an outpouring of God's favor. And that favor will manifest in ways that are far beyond what you could have ever imagined. As you begin to walk in the abundance that God has for you, remember to be a steward of the blessings you receive. God is looking for those who are trustworthy with His gifts. When you show that you can handle what He gives you, He will entrust you with more. This is not just a financial principle, it's a spiritual one, and it will change the way you see wealth. It will change the way you experience life. You will no longer look at money as something to be feared or fought for. You will see it as a tool to advance God's kingdom, to bless others, and to live in the fullness of His promises. At this moment, it's crucial to understand that divine wealth is a mindset. It's about shifting from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality. A scarcity mentality says there is never enough. It lives in fear of loss, and it hoards what it has, afraid that it will run out. But an abundance mentality sees the world differently. It knows that God's resources are unlimited. There is no lack in the kingdom of God. When you embrace this mentality, you stop living in fear of not having enough. You start to live in the confidence that everything you need will be provided for. And not just provided for, but overflowing in abundance. When you start to think abundantly, everything changes. You begin to attract more opportunities. You begin to see more blessings. You begin to move in the direction of greater success. Because when you believe in abundance, you start to act in alignment with abundance. Your actions will reflect your mindset. You will make bold moves. You will take risks. You will move forward with confidence, knowing that God has already provided everything you need for the journey ahead. One of the most powerful aspects of an abundant mindset is the ability to see the opportunities around you. You will no longer see obstacles. You will see opportunities for growth, for expansion, and for blessing others. You will begin to see your challenges as stepping stones that will take you to higher ground, to greater success, and to a life that is more abundant than you ever imagined. The abundance you seek is already available to you. It is already in your reach. The only thing holding it back is the belief that it is possible. By changing your mindset, you change your reality. And when you change your reality, you change your life. You become the person God created you to be. A person who walks in divine wealth, a person who overflows with generosity, and a person who knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that God is faithful to provide. Now, let's talk about divine timing. It's something that many of us struggle with, especially when it comes to wealth and success. We want things to happen now. We want to see the results of our efforts immediately. But here's the truth. God's timing is perfect. It's always right on time. And when you trust in His timing, you can relax knowing that your provision is already on its way. The problem with trying to control the timing of your breakthrough is that it can lead to anxiety and frustration. It can cause you to make rash decisions or try to force things to happen before they're supposed to. But when you trust in God's perfect timing, you allow Him to open the doors at the right moment. The moment when you are truly ready. The moment when the blessings will be sustainable, when you will be able to handle the abundance He is pouring out. Waiting on God's timing requires patience. It requires trusting that He knows what's best for you, even when it feels like nothing is happening. But I promise you, behind the scenes, He is working on your behalf. He is setting things into motion that you cannot see. And when the time is right, you will step into your breakthrough. You will step into the wealth and success that He has already prepared for you. And it will feel effortless because you will know that it is part of His perfect plan. So, as you wait for your abundance to manifest, remember that every moment is part of the process. God is refining you. He is preparing you. He is making sure that when your breakthrough comes, you will be ready to handle it with grace and wisdom. The wealth you are about to experience is not just for your comfort. It is for your purpose. It is to enable you to do greater things for His kingdom. And when the time comes, you will step into it with confidence, knowing that it is all part of God's divine plan for your life. God is not a man that He should lie. His promises are yes and amen. If He has declared abundance over your life, He will surely bring it to pass. Your dreams are not too big for God. Your goals are not too far beyond His reach. What seems impossible to human eyes has already been completed in the spiritual realm. There is no room for doubt, only space for trust. Many believe financial success is reserved for a lucky few, that somehow they are unworthy of great wealth. But hear me clearly, you are chosen. You are destined for greatness. The wealth that awaits you is not just for your comfort. It's to fulfill your divine purpose. Whether it's supporting ministries, launching businesses, building communities, or healing broken systems, God will equip you with everything you need. When you banish doubt, miracles rush into your life. When you align your thoughts with God's promises, you begin to see those promises manifest. You are not called to live in scarcity. You are called to overflow. Financial abundance is part of your destiny. Let go of every lingering doubt. Stand firm in the certainty that God is about to astonish you with His provision. There is incredible power in knowing that God is your provider. It gives you peace the world cannot take away. It gives you security no circumstance can shake. It gives you joy that overflows even in uncertain times. True wealth is not about hoarding riches. It's about impact. It's about using what God gives you to bless others, to heal wounds, to lift the broken. Every dollar, every blessing, every opportunity you receive is an invitation to participate in God's greater plan. As you give, you will receive even more, because God honors those who steward His blessings for His purposes. This is your time. This is your season. The journey to divine wealth is already unfolding before you. God is opening unseen doors of opportunity. He is orchestrating moments that will change everything for you. Stay faithful. Stay expectant. Walk boldly. You are walking into a future of unlimited prosperity, a future designed by the hand of God Himself. Welcome to your new reality. From now on, wealth is God's responsibility, and abundance is your destiny.